We all live at the height of our lives when we're actually going towards something, going towards a goal. That's when I mean, you're going to get the most sense of achievement and you're really going to push yourself. My name is Robert Devane, I'm Irish, I'm a business owner and I'm a professional MMA fighter.
Right on cue, and now some big shots coming in, lefts and rights. You hear Ian Freeman saying pick your shots, and that's exactly what Devane is doing.
Towards him.
Bennett looks in big trouble here.
And Neil Hall stops the action.
Well, it was a series of elbows to the side of the head and it is all over.
My 6th mixed martial arts fight actually takes place on the 16th of March in Newcastle in England, and Ian the Machine Freeman, my MMA coach, will be in my corner for the fight. I'm getting ready for that, and I'm also training for a grappling competition which takes place on the 2nd of February, so that's the focus of my training at the moment. Well, the reason why the next fight is very important to me is because it possibly could be my last fight. The last time I did have a fight was a year and a half ago, so it meant that all of last year I didn't get to fight, which was not by choice. I was ready. I mean, my last fight was a loss and I was ready to go straight away again and avenge my loss, but it just didn't work out like that. The recession has affected shows, has affected money. Promoters want local fighters who can sell tickets. I mean, a lot of the time, all of my fighting career has been abroad. I mean, I did lose a little bit of heart, but above all that is the fact that, I mean, I'll be 36 this summer. I mean, I never wanted to be a struggling fighter. It's not something that's interested me at all. I fight because I like it. I like the competition because I want to, not because I have to rely on it. I mean, there is a very, very strong possibility that this fight could be my last fight.
That's it, Rob.
That's it.
I entered the Spartan Grappling Challenge 9, and that was in Bristol. It's only my third ever grappling competition to enter. All 3 grappling competitions I've entered, I've been in the advanced section, so I've never actually known to enter anything other than the highest level of grappling, so it's probably a tough start. So the fact that I'm trying to be a jack of all trades and trying to do this MMA lark, and that I can hold my own at such a high level in grappling. I was happy with my mental process, because the biggest thing is staying calm and not panicking. And I mean, it's easy not to understand until you're in that environment. You can be very good in your own club, but when you're actually, there's lots of nerves and lots of adrenaline and a load of dudes that look like they know what they're doing, it's very easy to botch up your own performance. And I didn't. I was very calm. It's like after training, I'm fairly relaxed now. I have no aggression in my body, so I'm definitely not going to go out and cause any fights or start any rows, because it's like, I suppose, maybe it's bad to compare it to a drug, but in a way it is like my drug, and it keeps me calm. And without training, I'd notice my mood levels would be a bit different. So with a bit of training like today, I feel fairly sedate. And with the boxing, it's always helped martial arts. It's a major facet of martial arts for me, especially MMA. It's completely different to train boxing with a boxer. It's a completely different sport, and I mean, it's like wrestling. If you can wrestle with wrestlers and box with boxers and kickbox with kickboxers, it does round out your game a lot more. MMA is so different. I mean, you've got the small 4-ounce gloves. In boxing, you could block a bit more. MMA, you'd be better off getting out of the way. It does give you confidence to know that if all else fails and when you're tired, that I can rely on my hands. And I know, I have a confidence, as I said, some people might call it an arrogance, but I have a confidence that I know I can lay a glove on anybody. I'm in Newcastle in England at the moment. This is Friday the 22nd of February, so this is my 5th day, my final day. It's still the morning time here, so the lights are on. This is my little room that I've been staying in for the past few days. Training's been tough so far. If I look tired, it's because training's been tough. I've been doing 3 hours every single evening in a row and getting some mornings in as well, but it's all been tough training. It's great to have different training partners and to run different kind of drills, and I've gotten to partner up with my coach Ian the Machine Freeman, so
it's always hard when you're his partner. He puts you through your paces. Tonight's going to be another hard finish because it's squad training tonight, so they normally get about 25 rounds in of different types of sparring rounds.
So today is Sunday the 24th of February. Just a couple of things that have been on my mind lately, and I've 3 weeks to go to my fight, and the closer I get, the more I'm definitely feeling that this is more than likely, very highly likely, my last ever fight. Win, lose or draw. Obviously I'm going out to win, but I just have a very strong feeling, win, lose or draw, that it is my last fight. It's kind of just, I'm kind of just reaching that conclusion because I think I'm at that stage in my life where you know, there's so many, I have other priorities outside of the sport. They're trying to actually have a life and trying to have interests outside of martial arts, as well as running my own business and be normal at the same time as doing this thing that's not considered to be too normal. It definitely takes its toll, and it's not an easy juggle. Aggression in today's society has so many negative connotations. Even the word aggression, it's got so many negative connotations. But for you to be involved in any sport, you have to be aggressive. If you're going to play tennis and you're going to be a good tennis player, you have to be an aggressive tennis player. If you want to get anything in life, you have to pursue it aggressively. It's not necessarily a negative. Yes, I actually am an aggressive person towards my goals, towards competing. I am. I'm not a violent person. That's what I don't think I am. I don't think I'm a violent person at all. And I will be insulted if people think, well, hang on, you're involved in a violent sport and you must be violent outside of the cage or even in the cage. I don't view it as violence. I see it as competitiveness. Yeah, it can be harsh competition, and aggression plays a big part in it. In everyday life, I suppose my aggression wouldn't be evident in everyday life. And I do think because I don't use my competitive instincts or my competitive skills on a day-to-day basis, that they can be a bit more potent. They can be a bit stronger, that I save them for when I want them, for when I'm actually competing. On a day-to-day basis, I don't get drawn into unnecessary competition. If someone pulls up beside me at the traffic lights and wants to give me a race, I'm not interested. My competing is for actual competing when I need it. I think it dilutes it if you're jumping at every single competitive exchange. If I'm going to play Monopoly, I don't have to win. It's saved for my competition, which happens to be MMA.
I met Rob about 10 years ago. I joined MAI, and he was my instructor at the start, and we got together, and we're married 2 years now, so we're about 8 years together. In a way, I'm delighted that it's his last one. The reason being is, as I see Rob, going through all his training camp, he's been away for a long time. He's been in Canada, he's been in America. Obviously I don't like that part of it. I don't like being at home on my own because I have to run both of the clubs, and it does take its toll on your body, and I do see him struggle, and and then trying to run 2 clubs as well. It's hard, and I see him trying to be, everyone sees Rob as being the happy person, and when they come in, but I see the other side as well, where he's tired. He has to be on the floor to teach those classes. He has to give those people his hour, his time, and I know inside he's tired and he just wants to go home to bed. So in that part, I'm kind of glad.
I have thought before, I can't think whether it was every fight, but yes, it's normal during a training camp for you to think, why am I doing it? It's nerves, it's part of nerves, it's part of adrenaline. It's very normal for you to go, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? There is a lot of hardship on the way to success. Everything is great, and in the cold light of day, you're thinking, I'll fight and I'll do this, that, and the other. And when it actually comes close and you've actually signed yourself up, you're like, what have I done? So everybody thinks that. It's totally normal with every sport. However, this time is a lot different, and I very strongly feel that it is my last competitive venture. tired? It's not that the hard training is fully over either, because I still have to, my weigh-in is on Friday, so I still have to keep my weight down. I still have to do a lot of cardio. I can't do any dangerous training in that I can't spar or grapple, nothing that's potential for injury. So I do still have to train hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll still at least do 2 training sessions a day. So it's not completely over, but it's more based on cardio and on strategy. I'll still do a bit of strength training and stuff. So it's not as hard as it has been, but I still can't take my eye off the ball just yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty good actually. Touch wood, there's no wood around. It's actually been the easiest weight cut I've had so far. I'm not as drained as I have been in the past. I woke up this morning and I was about 2 pounds over. So I just tried to go to the loo there and I couldn't, because it's not actually that much there in my stomach, because I haven't eaten that much, but I've got plenty of energy. Normally I'm walking through the airport and it's like really slow and, you know, bent over, and you'd know I was miserable, but actually this time I'm pretty good. So that's definitely a plus, but I can't wait to weigh in and I can't wait to get some food.
Coming up to the fight, he's obviously you know, he goes through everything in his mind. He'll talk out loud all the time. He'll ask me everything. He'll go through training programs. He'll go through, is he training enough, his diet. I'm just there to just help him, talk him through, you know, keep him positive, let no negative thoughts get inside, and just be there for him all the time.
I would have started in MAI probably just before the summer 2004, so over 8 years, nearly 9 years now. When I started, it was basically for fitness, and I suppose never imagined I'd be where I am today. I would have worked through the belts. I got my black belt, and just before Christmas last year I attained the second dan black belt, which I never in my wildest dreams would have imagined I would have achieved.
Friday morning I've got the flight. Friday will be the weigh-in. You tend to be so focused on trying to make the weight, it takes the nerves away from the fight. It's only after you make the weight then that you might get nervous about the fight, but you tend not to get too nervous about the fight because you're relieved that you can finally actually eat and drink. So that takes your mind off the nerves for the fight as well.
Yesterday was the weigh-in, and obviously the weigh-in is a big step in the fight preparation. Obviously you're trying to make weight, so you get very tired, very hungry. Once you get that out of the way, you can kind of relax a little bit and start refueling, rehydrating, and from that point on really it's just around the mental preparation for the fight, getting yourself focused. The physical stuff is done, you've made your weight, so it's just in that time between weigh-in and the fight, you're getting yourself mentally prepared for the fight.
My name's Ian the Machine Freeman. I've been a professional fighter for 17 years now. I was the first English guy to fight in the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I fought in that 6 times. I have a professional record of 22 wins, 7 losses and 1 draw. Rob obviously knew who I was. He knew that I'd fought in the UFC. He knew my level of training, my level of coaching. So he asked me via email if he could come over and train. So he came over and trained for a week, and we hit it off really well. Really nice guy, a guy with a load of capability, and I could see potential in him, you know. And we've been friends ever since. And this was years ago. And he always comes over, and I go over there to see him too.
I tend not to get nervous about the fight until, I mean, you do go in and out of it all right, but I tend not to get until closer to the fight, until it's an actual reality, and that's when I start focusing on it a bit more. With me, I just go a little bit more quiet. I'm not fretting, I'm not running up and down the floor pacing or anything like that, and I'm not, you know, I'm still joking with people and I'm still myself, but I'm a lot more focused though, and I'm probably a little bit more quiet than normal. I mean, obviously, I do my homework, and I mean, if there's information on my opponent, I will look at the information. I will study whatever fights. It's not always the case, especially at lower level MMA. It's not always the case. Sometimes you just have to get into the cage with a completely unknown personality, completely unknown fighter. You don't even know if they're a southpaw or not, or what type of fighter they are. Sometimes you don't know, and that's tough. But actually, as a person, I don't want to humanize my opponent. I'm there to compete, and it is an extreme level type of competition. I don't want to have emotions either way. I don't want to hate them. I don't fight with anger. After the fight, it's completely different. I mean, after the fight, you're going to talk and you're going to become friends. You're going to have common interests, and you know, not always the case, but you know, you're going to humanize them a lot more. It's an opponent, it's competition, and that's the way I think of it. I don't think of their name, I don't think about anything to do with them, I just think about what I want to do. And that's why, I mean, fighters try to knock you off that, and they'll try to use psychology, they'll try to get a rise out of you, they'll try to, you know, get your emotions stirred, and I want to focus 100% on me. If I'm worrying about about my opponent, what my opponent's doing, it's taking the focus off what I want to do. So I don't humanize them. I just focus on them as an opponent and you know, on the competition, and as I said, how I wish and I want to perform.
I suppose when you're in the fighter's corner, you're basically there to assist the fighter in their preparations for the main event. So it's really what they need, accompanying them to like the weigh-ins, going through the rules, behind the scenes, getting ready, getting warmed up, getting their final preparations right, both mentally and physically.
He's potentially a stand-up fighter, that's where it come from, but to be honest, his ground is just as good, if not better, than his stand-up now. Because he's such a good martial artist, he can adapt to whatever he puts his mind to. You know, you get some guys who they take years and years and years to become a good fighter because it takes them that long to you know, analyse the moves and think of things, where Rob picked things up quite easy, quite quick. You know, so that's why he's now, you know, a good professional fighter in such a short time that he's been doing it.
Yes, I would be an aggressive competitor. I'm not a counter fighter, I'm not a defensive fighter. I like to be first, I like to go first. I have been over aggressive in the past. I've lost things or made mistakes because I was over aggressive, because I was too eager to go in.
Alright, time to switch yourself on, man. Might have to duck on you. Yeah, right. It's a no door.
Is that Rob? That's why my opponent got in. That's why my opponent got in. Yeah, he's in there now.
Come on, Mason. Look, kick short.
Switch on, man, alright? Come on, Rob. Let's think about winning. Let's think about winning.
Robert Devane!
That's it. Let's go, Rob.
Wages are required to labor almost on the rocky road, and all the weeds are gonna back the lonely rock. This is the first professional middleweight bout for Machine MMA, and it is the main event of the evening coming live from the Newcastle. Stanley, are you ready? It's time! And into the blue corner, he weighed in at 84.6 kilograms. 3 wins, 2 losses. Fighting out the Machine MMA Martial Arts Incorporated from Ireland. Here we go. It's
Burn his arms out. That's it. Use your head. Push him against the cage. Push him against the cage. Use your head. That's it. There you go. Lock him there. Let him burn his arms out. That's it. Right. Come on. Come on. Watch your base. Watch your base. Watch your base. Put that underhook. Put that underhook. Put your hips on the side. Hips on the side.
are you ready? Hold on, guys. Sorry, guillotine.
Well done, mate. Well done. Next elbows. Alright, you better.
Oh, that was wrong.
I hate seeing you like that. I knew it was going to go.
I can't talk for every other fighter, you know. I mean, I think people have so many different reasons to fight, you know. And I mean, I think to myself sometimes, like, why do I fight? You know, everyone thinks that, and it's not always easy. It's not always black and white questions. It's not always easy to figure out, you know, why am I a fighter? I am a product of martial arts. I started martial arts when I was a kid. Did I ever see myself as a professional fighter or fighting at professional level? No, I don't think I did. I got into it because I loved it, because I liked Bruce Lee and I wanted to do martial arts and I had loads of energy and I thought the kicks were great. I think it's a natural progression. I don't think that every fighter has walked into a gym and decided, I want to be a fighter. Obviously MMA has created a lot more people like that, and people who are fighters and want to learn martial arts so they can fight. Competing is another level. It's another way of testing yourself and testing your mind and your spirit and your body. I mean, I think we all live at we all live at the height of our lives when we're actually going towards something, going towards a goal. That's when I mean, you're going to get the most sense of achievement and you're really going to push yourself. Well, the funny thing is, I'm not so sure now. You know, and it's such a hard one, you know, because I did feel very strongly, you know, during it. I think just to the pressure of everything as well, even the pressure of doing this, like, you know, had me putting myself under a lot of pressure. I mean, you'd ask me, like, how did I feel after the fight? I still felt like I hadn't fully showcased, you know, what I can do. And I just have to try to focus on, you know, what makes me happy as well as my actual sports goals as well. So it's getting that balance. But I mean, that's what we're all trying to do, get that balance in life, which is what that whole yin yang symbol of martial arts is about having the balance and you know, trying to even your own personality and your own standard of living and even out everything so it's well balanced.